Look at this lead pencil. There's not a single person in the world who could make this pencil.
In Baltimore last week, President Biden summoned one of Milton Friedman's favorite metaphors to make a point about the complexity of modern supply chains.
Even products as simple as a pencil can have to use the wood from Brazil, graphite from India, before it comes together at a factory in the United States to get a pencil.
Of course, when Milton Friedman used Leonard Read's pencil metaphor, he was using it to push back against big government intrusions into the market.
What brought them together and induced them to cooperate to make this pencil? There was no commissar sending out orders from some central office. It was a magic of the price system.
Odder still is that the last time Joe Biden referenced Friedman was in a Political article from 2020. The article closed with his assertion that Milton Friedman isn't running the show anymore. Less than a year into his presidency, Joe Biden is today presiding over the worst inflation Americans have experienced in 31 years.
We're coming on the air this morning with a brand new poll, and it's brutal for President Biden. 70% believe the economy is in bad shape. And with inflation at a 3-decade high, only 39% approve of Biden's handling of the economy.
Milton Friedman referred to inflation as a hidden tax, or taxation without representation. By this he meant that inflation acted as a tax on your earnings, but a particularly sneaky tax. It was sneaky because any nominal increase to your paycheck potentially meant sliding you into a higher tax bracket. That, coupled with day-to-day costs hit by inflation.
This is crazy.
Such as motorists in California now paying the state's highest recorded average price for regular gasoline.
To put that into perspective, people who drive the typical mid-size sedan with a 14-gallon size fuel tank, they're paying $21 more to fill up that tank of gas today than 1 year ago.
But instead of taking inflation into account and slimming down his Build Back Better agenda, the Biden administration is doubling down.
The BBB has billions of dollars to deal with supply chain issues. Also, it's fully paid for.
When politicians start using the word free, one can only imagine what Milton Friedman would have said.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
And yet a free lunch is exactly how Joe Biden continues to sell his multi-trillion-dollar agenda.
This is not going to cost the American public $1.
We're not going to raise tax on anyone making under $400,000. That's a lot of money.
Friedman would likely have pointed out that with inflation, Mr. Biden is already taxing plenty of families earning less than $400,000 a year.
Inflation is just like alcoholism. In both cases, when you start drinking or when you start printing too much money, the good effects come first. The bad effects only come later.
Today, even the Obama administration's economist is concerned the situation is spiraling out of control.
I think the odds are that we're going to have inflation of a kind we haven't seen in 30 years until either the Fed takes some significant move with respect to monetary policy or until there's some kind of accident.
One thing we know, with or without Build Back Better, if inflation continues, more and more Americans are going to wish Milton Friedman really were running the show today.
When it comes to the cure, it's the other way around. When you stop drinking or when you stop printing money, the bad effects come first. And the good effects only come later. That's why it's so hard to persist with the cure.